immigrants, I moved to Canada because I love breaking new ground and exploring new challenges, as well as starting from a blank slate. While this journey has been rewarding, where I found a real sense of ownership over my career choices and how to navigate new waters, it has also been fraught with challenges. For example, does my education and my skill level fit the job role? How do I begin a search? How do I network? What is in this black box? I'm bringing to you Canada Careers Conversation, where I do a sit down with an individual in a current job role and we'll really debug what it is to get there, what it means to be in that job profile, and what certification or soft skills should one have to aspire for that role. Hi Naveen, welcome to the Canada Careers Conversation podcast. I'm very happy and excited that you're joining us today on our very first episode.
Hey, Colleen, thank you so much for inviting me to your podcast. Very happy to be here. I think it's a great initiative and it's going to help a lot of people out there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hope. And, I'd really like to understand from you if you can quickly kind of describe your current role and what is it that occupies most of your day?
For sure. I work as a senior site reliability DevOps engineer. The responsibilities of a site reliability engineer differs from company to company, but I would mention the top 5 skill sets that you would require to be very successful in this role. The first thing is you need to be proficient with 1 or 2 programming languages for sure.
Okay.
I would say Python and Go as a common choice. Most of the projects that you're going to get is going to be to develop something for tooling or monitoring. So you got to be proficient in 1 or 2 programming languages for sure.
Okay.
Second thing I would say is you need to understand the complete infrastructure of your offering. Say, for example, if you're having a software as a service offering, you need to have a complete understanding of the architecture from the time the code is pushed into the Git till it's production ready. You need to know all the stages so that if a customer system goes down, you will be able to quickly jump in and fix the system as quick as possible. Because if you're not able to fix the system at a specific time interval, you're going to miss out on the SLAs and it's not going to look good. That's the second thing. Third thing I would say is you need to be good at, again, Python or shell scripting to do a lot of automation. There are a lot of manual and repetitive tasks that we keep doing. So we need to automate as much as possible to reduce toil and to save time. The fourth thing I would say is you need to look for cost saving opportunities for your company as much as you can. For instance, say you're using a specific type of storage mechanism in AWS. You need to find and look for opportunities where you can find a different type of storage mechanism where the cost is less, and then try to suggest this to your team to reduce the cost. And also you need to focus on seamless upgrade for the customers. Every 2-3 months you're going to get a new feature out, so you need to find a good upgrade mechanism where it's seamless so that the customer doesn't go through a lot of disruption in their system. So these 5 I would say are key skills that you would require to be successful in this role.
Fantastic. That's a great download. And 5 seems like a doable number as well. Just getting a little bit more insight on, what specifically your role is and kind of what do you find yourself doing most in a day? Like break it down for us. Break down your full day from, you're getting your coffee until you shut down your laptop for the day.
There is no specific set of pattern that we follow. Sometimes we get a project where we need to develop a tool, a feature, or a monitoring enhancement. Sometimes we get a project where we need to automate as much as possible. Sometimes it's about an upgrade. Sometimes it's about the customer incidents. So there is no specific set of pattern that we follow. It's a mix of all these tasks.
Okay, understood. And what drove you to this career specifically? Because I know you're a master's in computer science and you worked with several organizations and you've been in a couple of roles kind of before you said you wanted to try DevOps or you wanted to get aligned to this specific technology stack. So what were your personal and professional drivers?
So when I graduated from masters, I was looking to be around the cloud space. I was doing my research on what are the things inside cloud that I can explore. This area is something that excited me. The reason why I wanted to be in this area is because of the pressure handling situations. You need to be able to have a calm mindset to handle the pressure, and I like the thrill of the job. That's the main reason why I chose this.
Okay, so thrill it is.
Right.
So help me understand what's thrilling in a technology job. Because when most of us look at technology, we're like, oh, we'd have to sit down and code. So the viewers will be really interested to know that technology can be thrilling as well. And so, what is that big thrill in DevOps?
I think thrill is different for different people, right? It's not the
Sure.
same for everybody. For me, I would say it's the pressure handling. You need to fix something under a specific time interval. I really like that part of the job. I have always been used to pressure handling jobs. So it's something that comes naturally, and that's the most important part of this job that I like.
Great. And in terms of the professional skill set, would you say there are certain alignments with professional qualities that would make you successful in this role? For instance, like in my role currently, I'm a sourcer and I've been into recruiting and engineering space. So in my particular role, I know negotiation as a skill is really important. So what would you say is, the top 3 key skills in that respect that would be very useful for somebody to have when they're getting into DevOps or to have a sustainable, thriving career in DevOps?
I think the major point here is calm mindset. Most of the time, you're going to be under pressure situation when it's a DevOps or SRE job, right? Because you're going to be focusing on the reliability of the customer systems. You're going to be the face of the systems. So it's very important to have a calm mindset. I think half the battle is won when you have a calm mindset.
Okay, great. And so you did say there were some programming languages that were important in this role. Could you give us a deep dive into what kind of technology stack can somebody learn or polish further to be successful in this role?
Yeah, for sure. The most common languages I would say is Python and Go in most of the companies.
Okay.
If the company is more tailored towards the DevOps roles, then you need to know a little bit about Ansible, Chef Puppet as well for configuration management side. And basically, if you are strong in Python or Go and shell scripting for automation, you should be good.
Okay, great. So this was all kind of from the programming lens that somebody can pick up skills on. If somebody is a fresh graduate from the within the technology spectrum that is generally looked at from a hiring perspective, are there particular micro courses they can pick up on? Are there particular cloud certifications they can take to further build upon their professional and academic credentials?
Yeah, I would say the top 3 certifications are KAD and SEEK. These 2 are Kubernetes certifications. Most of the systems are now on Kubernetes, so these 2 will give a really deep dive knowledge about the infrastructure. And the second thing I would say is the AWS DevOps Engineer Specialty or AWS SysOps Administrator. Third thing would be the AWS Solutions Architect certification, which gives you an overall architecture how it works. If you have these 3 or 4 certifications, I think you will have an overall idea of how it works.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. In terms of sort of, when I'm hiring for certain roles, I look at various candidate personas that might fit into the role. So, for instance, if somebody told me, Gurleen, we're looking for a DevOps engineer or a SRE engineer, what should I see on the resume that would make me give that person a call or reach them out on LinkedIn in an email or, just have a reach out conversation? What would be the top 5 things that you'd like to see on that resume?
I would say the same thing which I said before. First thing, what kind of cost saving have they done for the company? What kind of automation they have done for the company? Also, what kind of large scale projects that they have deployed into production? What kind of seamless upgrade implementations that they have done? These are the kind of things that I would look into a resume.
Okay, fantastic. So these are the skills probably you're looking at from, the resume of a seasoned professional, somebody who's been in the workplace, somebody who's had a few roles under their belt and has some kind of success within those roles. What would you say would you look in for in a resume of a fresh graduate who may not have the opportunity or have had the opportunity to be in a professional role as yet?
I would suggest doing as many side projects as possible. If it's about just spinning an AWS instance using some automation, even that's a good start. As many side projects as possible and a strong GitHub presence would really help for a new grad.
Great. So within that GitHub profile, what kind of projects would that person have done?
It depends, right? Like if you're talking about a programming project, how many hard programming problems have you solved? How many easy programming problems you have solved? And what kind of projects have you done? Have you done an integration project? Have you done a configuration management project? Or have you done projects where you have done automation? Or have you done projects where you have used automation to deploy into the cloud? So these are the kind of side projects that you can look into if you're a new grad.
Great. And talk to me about your journey. How did you decide on doing a master's in what were the roles you had before you landed into this role and what steps you took personally to land this role?
I did a lot of side projects and a lot of programming problems to get a fair understanding of how to approach the problems. I also did several certifications. I did a Kubernetes certification, I did an AWS certification to get an overall idea of how things work. Largely, doing those certifications helped me to get an overall understanding of the architecture and everything.
And if you like this video, please consider subscribing to Canada Careers Conversation, where we'll be doing a sit-down interview style podcast with people already thriving in their career and their roles in Canada. Thank you.